So, guys, very exciting today. I got my little sister Elaina with us today, and we're just going to kind of go through her life growing up and the transformation that God did in her life. So, Elaina, thanks for being here today with me. Took a little while to get you here.
Yeah.
Elena's
I was scared.
She's really busy. She's got a lot going on in her life. She's in school and being a mom and working, so she's a busy lady. Mm-hmm. But she took time to come with her big brother and just talk about just her journey and God getting a hold of her life and just what it looked like before and what after. So, Elaina, thanks for hanging out with me.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So, Elaina, we have the same dad, but different moms. And I pretty much, since 5 years old, grew up in Arkansas, but you've been in California until a few years. So you pretty much grew up most of your life in California.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit different culture from Arkansas to California. But what's kind of crazy is that kind of the same things that trapped me, that I struggled with, became some of your struggles and traps as well.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of go through childhood, maybe just some of your earliest memories of growing up. And so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Salinas, California. Me and my twin sister were born in San Francisco because our dad and then my mom, they actually met in rehab, and they both got clean. They started going to church, AA, and then they wanted to have kids. So they had, before me and my sister, there was 2 boys that would have been our brothers that they had that passed away, both of them from a heart defect. And so they were when me and my sister were born, they didn't set up the nursery or anything like that because they were real worried. And we were born in San Francisco at a special hospital in case the same issue happened, and it didn't, and we were healthy, so everyone was really happy, and everything was pretty good. And we just grew up with my mom and dad for a while, and then they got a divorce when we were 5, so that was kind of tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was just thinking about when you and your sister were born. I was actually there. I got a picture of holding you and your sister when I was in California visiting Dad. And I think the first time I met Dad and your mom, I think she was pregnant with y'all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool how, God kind of brought us together so that I could be there when you guys were born. And then, wasn't the best probably brother and sister relationship, but we tried the best out of it, getting to see each other every once in a while.
We always looked up to you and thought you were so awesome and so handsome, and I'd always be like, this is my brother from Arkansas.
So you grade school, when our dad and your mom got divorced, were you just in kindergarten, or you guys still in kindergarten?
Yeah.
And do you remember that very much?
I just remember them being like, Dad's not going to stay here anymore. And I remember I was really upset. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want him to leave because I really, really just was obsessed with him. I thought he was the best thing. He was so funny. I just loved him so much. And I would write in my diary about him, and I just looked at him kind of like a superhero, and I just thought he was so great. So when he stopped staying with us, I was really upset. Yeah. And I blame my mom a lot.
And that was probably that time when you girls were born. Before that, up to that point, it's probably some of the best times that Dad was sober. Yeah. He had a job at the school as a maintenance man and had the house in Salinas. Yeah. And he was doing really well.
Yeah, he fixed up the house and started his own business, got his contractor license, and was mostly sober. Was a big part of that they were sober. Yeah. But yeah.
So
they both relapsed, and so that they stopped going to church, stopped going to AA, and then once he started drinking and she started taking Vicodin, and it just messed their marriage up. So,
Yeah. Addiction brought them together, and addiction tore them apart.
Yeah.
I actually remember I was at Dad's, the house I had in Salinas, and I started, even as a kid, I could kind of recognize the struggle starting to come back because he started drinking non-alcoholic beer, and he would always show me like, "Hey, this is non-alcoholic," and but it was just like
He
slowly,
missed it.
slowly starting to see it come back, and of course then it just spiraled out of control. But so what after that, kind of going to school and stuff, what's your relationship with your mom and relationship with Dad? What do you remember really what that looked like?
Yeah. Well, Dad, we did see him like on the weekends and stuff, and we mostly hung out at like the American Legion, which is really just a bar with like a little game room for kids. And I really just felt bad for him. I felt so guilty. Like I would take money from Mom's wallet, and I would go, once I was at his house, and I would put it in his wallet, and like so he wouldn't see. And I just sensed that he was struggling. Like I just knew that it wasn't good. And I remember I don't want to like put my mom on blast, but I mean, I'm just telling my story. So I remember I was like at his house, and like Bill Clinton was on the news, and it was like all about Monica Lewinsky and stuff like that. And he's like, "That's what your mom did," or whatever to me. And I was like, "What?" And I remember being like, "What?" And he's like, "That like cheated on me," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh my," I was like so shocked and so mad. And I just really was really, really mad at my mom because I didn't understand why she would pick someone else over him. And it just caused a lot of anger towards her. Like I didn't respect her how I should or behave. And then like, I just wanted Dad to come back home basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, that Dad had his own, he had he had a lot of the guilt in itself. He had a lot of responsibility. It just can't be.
She said he didn't come home and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They both, you coming out of trying to do what's right and trying to deal with addiction and trying to be married and raise a family. It's a lot of responsibility and when you screw up, you can either sometimes that just eats somebody up and they can't get past it, and then it just gets worse and worse. And so what was high school like?
Well, we moved from like after that. I saw Dad like a lot, and then he started to get worse. And I remember like one of the last times I saw him like blowing in his breathalyzer to get his car started, and he was just doing really bad. And then my mom actually met someone that was my dad's friend. Like they used to paint together, my stepdad, James. And he was just like the best thing that ever happened to our family. Like, I mean, it didn't save me from going down that path, but he really like got my mom not like, she was on the straight and narrow. We started kind of going to church sometimes, and he wanted to like move out of Salinas. So we moved out of Salinas and we moved to like a new town, and we went to high school and we didn't know anybody. So it was really hard because girls were really mean to me and my sister. Like, I mean, one time I came to school, it was like a movie. These girls had taken a video, or they took a picture of a porno and they edited my face on it. And I walked into school and there was hundreds of pictures of like me and like, but it wasn't me. It was a screenshot. And like people who knew me knew it wasn't me, but some people didn't know it wasn't me. So I just had like a lot of just drama in high school, and I didn't like high school at all. And I didn't even ever really go to a full day of school. I did really bad. We did really bad in high school. And we ended up getting our CHIPS, so we like got our equivalent and just stopped going at like junior year. And yeah, so it was not fun. And we were drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when you girls were in high school, when I would come, I never knew sometimes you girls would come have lunch with me or dinner or something, and other times y'all would ghost me.
No.
Yeah.
Well, at the very end, yeah.
Yeah. But, I seen, of course.
All the pictures I posted probably like partying and stuff.
Yeah. Which, being long distance, and when I would come a little bit, it was trying to figure out how to maybe motivate you to do right, but not being around enough to really make a presence. But I know that, so Dad, probably around that time, which I ended up in, which I see it was before y'all were in high school. I ended up coming to California, and I thought I was going to move there. Started working, and actually ended up staying with Dad in this little, the yellow house. Do you remember that house when he had the Camaro? And yeah, and he was dating Rondi, and I think working at the American Legion, cooking. He was there all the time. But yeah, it was just out of control. I was trying to work. Dad and Rondi would come to the house at like 3 a.m, turn all the lights on, be ready to party, and I'm like sleeping on the couch trying to go to work. Once you guys moved to Visalia, did you see Dad very often?
No, I never, like, I didn't see him until our grandma passed away and I was 19. So I didn't see him for like 8 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I always knew that like the next time I'm going to see him is going to be at grandma's funeral. And it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in high school, the party at that time, were you just drinking in high school?
I was, but my twin sister Allison, that was like, she had mental health struggles like she had them for a long time, and it was just really hard. And it, like, my biggest struggle was just trying to get her to like not be depressed. And like, we just had a lot of, even before I ever used, I always tell people like I was sicker before I even used, because had so many issues. Like, we were both bulimic, and we were just riddled with like all these like issues. And so she did start using like pills in high school, but I would drink like a lot, so that's not much better. But I didn't start using yet.
When did because I remember Allison almost got to where like social anxiety, where she wouldn't even come out of her room. She didn't want to be around anybody.
We both had really bad anxiety.
When did that start?
Well, for me, like, I remember having anxiety, I think because of like the uncertainty. I remember in first grade going to the office and being like, I can't breathe. And I was like, I need to go to the hospital. And my mom had to pick me up and take me to the doctor. Sorry. And the doctor was like, you're having a panic attack. Like, you can breathe, you're going to live. And I was like, what? And so I had panic attacks since a really little kid. Like, and Allison, she also had anxiety too, but when she got older, hers got way worse, like severely worse. Like, she would like grab cold water and pour it on her head and be like, I can't breathe, and like freak out. And we both had anxiety. Like, I don't really know why, but yeah. Hers was worse after she started using.
Did she party and stuff with you? Did you guys party together?
Yeah, but she was always not as into like partying. I had to like make her go out, and I always had to like make our friends for us, because she didn't really care that much to like socialize, and she just liked to read and like hang out with our dog, and she was kind of an introvert.
Mm-hmm. So in high school, so you pretty much got to where you was able to graduate early through high school?
We took our CHIPSB, which is like you don't want to be in high school anymore, and you just take a test and you pass it.
Kind of like
like a GED kind of, but a little better than a GED.
GED, okay.
But we wouldn't have been able to graduate. Like, I was going to a continuation school and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I actually got my GED in 10th grade. It's either the end of 10th grade or right before 11th grade. And thank God I even got my GED, because I had like zeros
Yeah,
for that.
I'm so glad I got mine.
So after high school, when you end up graduating or whatever that looked like, what did you start doing after that?
Well, I never really had a plan. Like, I never planned for the future. I never thought about the future. I just always was like in my head. Like, my thoughts were just always like, they were just so distracting from planning for a future or anything like that. I think we went and we became CNAs, and we started working like as a CNA for a while. I need to take a sip of water. My mouth's dry. And then Yeah. We just tried to like figure out some little jobs to do, but I wasn't a very good worker, so it was kind of hard.
Yeah. So, and then, so grandma passed away, and dad, you see dad, and it's, I think he had kind of been missing for a while, because I would go to California and look for him. Anytime I'd go to California, I'd go try to find him. Sometimes I'd find him, sometimes I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I'd try to ask around and see where he's at, and sometimes it'd be a couple years before you find him and see him. But
he didn't have a cell phone, or if he did, I don't think anyone knew the number really.
yeah, after Grandma died, did you guys get to see him much? Talk? Did you get to?
We saw him a few times. Well, like a little after that. I think it's because he knew that he was getting sick. And I'm pretty sure because we like looked through his things after he passed away. And it was like oncologist. Like he had like an appointment for a cancer screening. And he was saying that when he was going to the bathroom, like there was buckets of blood. And he sometimes would like exaggerate. So I didn't really think that there was buckets of blood, but there really was. Like he was having a lot of issues like that. And so he kind of got a little more sentimental, and he wanted to see us a little bit. So we like had dinner a few times, and Allison was like really excited. And I was like, don't get your hopes up. Like she was like, no, she wanted to like drive, because it was like 3 hours where he was at. And she's like, let's go. And I was like, I have plans. And she was like, no, we're going. And I'm like, okay. He wanted to see us. So we drove like 4 hours to have dinner with him. And then she actually stayed with him for like a few weeks, which I'm really glad she got to do, because he was a caretaker of like a man with Parkinson's, and she stayed and helped him. And so we started to spend more time with him, and he was really sweet. He was like, I'll love you guys for an eternity. And like, he did really love us. Like he just had, severe alcoholism. So.
Yeah, he carried a lot of guilt about it, because usually every time I would see him, he'd try to give me something, which, Dad didn't have much to give. But he, he'd always like a knife or a book, just something. And I think that he was trying to make up maybe for times he missed or something. But I would tell him, I don't want anything from you other than just a relationship, just to talk. And Dad had gone to jail, and then he ended up getting on house arrest. And in that time, which was about 4 years before he passed away, we actually became closer than we'd ever been. I talked to him every week, and we would just laugh, talk about life and work and just different things. And it was really awesome. Something that we always wanted. I just never really had.
House, probably.
Yeah, he was stuck there, and Uncle Stan was living there, and so he couldn't go anywhere. And he got sober, and he started reading his Bible, and me and Dad would talk about the Lord, and it was really, really neat. So Dad ends up passing away. You girls and then our oldest brother Jacob, you guys were at the hospital with Dad. Y'all called me. I was in Arkansas, and I could hear Dad in the background saying that he was okay, and
that was really hard.
Yeah, so we flew. I wasn't able to get a flight till the next day, and they ended up transporting Dad to San Francisco, the hospital there, the VA hospital there.
Yeah.
And by the time I had landed, Dad had passed away.
Yeah, he passed away basically almost before you got there, just a little bit before you got there.
Yeah.
So that was really sad.
Yeah, and Uncle John picked me up at the airport, drove me, and he knew the whole time, but he didn't. Yeah. He didn't tell me, and he just. I always thought that was probably a really. Because I didn't know. I thought Dad was still alive. I was looking forward to talking to him. I was going to talk to him about the Lord, make sure that he was right with the Lord.
I wonder why he didn't tell you.
I don't know. I think he wanted
Jacob to tell you.
Yeah, I just didn't think he thought it was his place. And Uncle John's pretty quiet anyway.
Yeah.
But I know that was a hard drive for him because, I was like, man, I can't wait to see Dad. I want to talk to him. I was really wanting to, because I made the mistake before I flew out to
Didn't
not
talk
talk to him
yet.
on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I told Jacob on the phone, "Hey, I'll just talk to Dad. I want to talk to Dad when I get there." Well, I wanted to talk to him in person.
Yeah. Did they not kind of tell you like how serious?
At that point, I don't think they knew. And Dad, I could hear Dad in the background, kind of joking. And matter of fact, in the background, he said, "I'm right with Jesus."
Yeah, that's what he kept saying. That. Yeah.
So, but I honestly.
But he was not doing good at all.
Yeah. So I had no idea that he was going to pass away before I got there. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd talk to him on the phone. But
Yeah.
So fast forward, and I'm kind of hesitating in some of the stuff to talk about because I know it's there's a lot of
really troubling things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just life. It's just a fact. But we've got some stuff that was a major struggle, stuff that's probably still a little bit of a struggle. But we'll step into Allison passing away. Mm. So before that, Allison had gotten pregnant. Mm. So how old was Allison when she got pregnant? Do you remember?
She was probably like 25, I think.
Was she that old?
Or maybe, no, I think maybe that's when I was pregnant. I don't remember exactly.
So
maybe 22 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I think she was.
But it was like weird because really she kind of like, there wasn't really much of a chance that she was going to be pregnant. But I just was like, I just had a sense that she was pregnant. And I was like, I'm going to buy you a pregnancy test. And I even drew a picture of her and me and like some baby and whatever. And then she's like, I'm not pregnant. And I was like, well, whatever. And I bought it and she was. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy and whatever. And she was so scared because she was going to be like by herself or whatever. So I went and I like got her name tattooed on me. And I was like, you're not going to be doing this alone. I'm going to be here with you, blah, blah, blah. And I really wanted it to like work out. I wanted us to like be a family and help her and stuff like that. And I mean, she really loved her daughter a lot. And she just still had mental health issues and whatever. But yeah, so she passed away on her daughter's 3rd birthday, which was really hard. The whole situation was really hard, obviously. And it was in a very shocking, like unexpected way. And I was like completely in shock after that. Like I still am in shock, kind of. Like you're just like, what? Like this just doesn't make any sense. And because I had always told her like, if anything happens to you, I'm going to kill myself. And like even my ex-boyfriend was like looking for me because he thought that I was going to be killing myself because I always said that I would never be able to live without my sister or whatever. And then when she did pass away, you just keep living, like you don't have a choice. I mean, you kind of go into shock,
Yeah. So Allison, she had gotten, which it is it's super tragic and sad just how the whole event happened because it was Aaron's birthday, 3rd birthday. She was supposed to be getting ready
to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Go to Chuck E. Cheese, and Allison, she had taken prescription or like prescription style drugs, but she had also got into huffing, right? And so she was in the bathroom huffing and ended up passing out and drowning. And so what was supposed to be a really celebrational time ended up having to pull her out of the bathtub, trying to resuscitate her there in the house, and she ended up passing away.
Yeah, like James broke down the door and he resuscitated her, and she didn't pass away until like 12 hours later at the hospital. But it was just, and James still probably has PTSD from that. That's horrific. But, and I guess over the intercom or something, they must have said my name, because like later on when I had an interaction with a cop, they were like, what's your name? And I said, Elaina Phillips. And they're like, you're lying. She's dead. Like a lot of people thought I was dead and all this stuff. But it was kind of weird because that day, like, I think you kind of have a sense. Like I had told my baby's dad, do you think that day I just had a weird feeling, and I was like, do you think Allison would ever kill herself? Like, I just have a weird feeling that something's going to happen to her. And then a couple hours later, my friend came by, because I guess I didn't have a phone or something. And he's like, you need to call your mom right now. And I was like, why? And I was like, just really afraid, because the girls were at my mom's house, that something had happened to one of the girls. But she was like, Allison drowned. I don't know. I was just like, then I just threw the phone and like started running down the street. I was just like so freaked out. But she was still alive, so I thought that maybe she could like live through it. But I don't know. Maybe if the hospital had been better, possibly, but there wasn't really much they could do. So
yeah. So
she coded, and it was just like they were like giving her CPR and just standing there. It was just really traumatic, like to watch all that and stuff.
Yeah, and not too long before that, I had been to California. Mm-hmm. I think it was only a few weeks before that.
Yeah.
I know it was because I had just gotten back from California when I got the call.
Yeah.
That Allison had passed. But before that, I came to Visalia. I drove down to Visalia to see you and Allison, and I couldn't get you.
Yeah, once I was not.
Yeah, but me and Allison went and had lunch at a little Mexican restaurant in Visalia, and she had Aaron with her, and we had a good talk. You know, of course, when I was around your girls at that time, I was trying to tell you about the Lord and trying to get you guys to live for the Lord and get out of that lifestyle. And so a lot of our conversation, you know, and she did say, I remember her saying that she didn't think she was good enough, and that was it. You know, it was tough, and I tried to, you know, and so the rest of the time I tried to explain to her that she was good enough, that God loved her, and
it's sad.
You know, and she kind of acted like maybe she would be open to allowing the Lord, you know, to.
She was so lost, like she really, and it is sad because like her diaries, like just reading them, I have all of them, but just it's so hard to read because she's just like, I'm so fat, I'm so this, I'm so that, and she just really had a very low opinion of herself, which is really sad. It makes me sad for her. But so, like, I did as well, and so, yeah. But, I mean, honestly, as much as this all sucks, and I still wish I had my sister all the time. I think about her all the time, and this whole situation, I never wanted any of that all to happen. Like, I never wanted us to her not have Aaron, and me not have whatever. I just know that I was literally, honestly, I was like worse than my sister. Like if someone would have thought like one of us was going to pass away, they probably would have thought it would have been me. I wasn't even allowed in the house. Like I would have to just like be like, can I use a phone? Like, and Allison would sneak me a phone. They wouldn't even let me come in the house. So I would have probably never changed my life if it wasn't for that. Cause that just like sent a shock into me. And I mean, it still took me another 2 years to get clean, but everyone kind of did not realize what was going on. Like all the family came and they were like, whoa, like what? I didn't realize that you guys were like so sick. I was literally like so skinny. Do you remember how skinny I was? I was so skinny.
So the big realization of how bad it was, is, you know, so I'm back in Arkansas. I'd just gotten back. I think I'd been back maybe a week. And we actually had a whole trip planned to be in California for Christmas, first time ever. And I was bringing Jennifer and the kids, and we already had the flights and everything. And so a week before, I get the phone call that Allison had passed away, and they asked me to fly out to do the funeral for Allison. So I fly out to California, and I come see you, and when I got around you, I realized, you know, your addiction, you know, because you every 10 minutes you're leaving, going to the bathroom, you know.
I was not even hiding it. Like I was so openly.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like dying. I was so sick.
I mean, you're smoking heroin, and you know, and probably one of the most eerie places. And Elaina, you know, this stuff, you know, when we talk, it's just fact, right? But it's just the reality. But one of the most eerie things to me, you know, I went to where Allison's body was with you and Denise, and I think both of y'all were probably. I know you were high.
Yeah. I mean, I was.
I don't know about your mom.
You will get sick. Like it's like you're just so. I mean, I was mostly like always just sick. Like you have to use to not be sick, and I was so mentally sick. Like I had lost like 7 teeth. Like I was in the hospital so many times for different things. Like I was so sick. So like it's not like I was like high having a great time. Like I was very like sick in the head, and I used to like not just for fun, like because I was sick and yeah.
But so we went in there, and I remember I couldn't go in and see her. I mean, I think I peeked around. Disturbing. I think I peeked around the door and seen her laying on the table. But you know, she was kind of swollen. I mean, it was she was in water, sad, so yeah. It was a sad deal. Really, but I remember it was almost like you in that moment you had to stir up emotion. I feel like you were so lost yourself. Yeah. And I just remember thinking,
I was so numb. Like I could not feel anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like you think, oh, like as a Christian, we want to help people that are, you know, lost. But when you actually see a lost person, it's not as lovable and as what you would want to help. Like people that are out there they're in survival mode and they aren't going to seem lovable. Like they're not. And I wasn't lovable at all. Like I was so cold hearted. I was just literally, I didn't love myself at all. Like, how could I mean, I don't know. It was really weird. Like, and I used to be obsessed with my sister. I got her name tatted on my stomach, huge. Like, I really, really love my sister. But in the last like few weeks, it was really bad. So it was just hard. I don't know. And I just was in shock. Like, I didn't really believe it was happening. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we go there, and then we start making the preparation and stuff for the funeral. And, you know, like literally I'm up behind the pulpit waiting to start the funeral, and we're having to wait on you. I don't
remember any of that.
You were in that bathroom getting high. And so we're like waiting for you to come in. And I know that, you know, the funeral was extremely hard to do. Number one, because, you know, you girls have always been my little sister. I did carry guilt of, like, especially when Allison passed away, I thought I should have been calling more. I should have been praying with them more. I should have been seeing them more. Like, I really felt like I could have. I could have done more. But once we done the funeral and I seen how sick you were and how, you know, addicted and addiction, and I was like, addiction's going to take Elaina too. And it started in my mind, and I think in the family's mind too, it started the path of Elaina needs help. We need to save Elaina, and we tried to get you in a rehab and get some stuff started.
I mean, it was really hard because I wanted help, but when you're like, it was just hard because they took, you know, like I really did want help, but I was extremely like ill. Like I got really sick. I went straight to a psych ward. They had like I just was on watch, and then I went straight into a rehab that you couldn't even smoke a cigarette. And if you were sick, they're just going to stand there and pray for you, which is good, obviously. But I was physically super ill and just laying there in pain. Like, and then all of a sudden it was starting to hit me and like, wow, my sister really did just die. Like, I just remember being so sick and like just feeling so bad. And I even thought in that moment, like I was laying there on the bunk bed while I was in the rehab that they got me into after all that. And everyone wanted me to stay, obviously, and I wanted to stay too but I mean, I was just I didn't know that I could control my thoughts. Every second I was just watching the clock, like just felt like I was there forever. And I do remember like laying there kind of having a vision, like it was like a good vision, like from God, like stay here And I like had a vision of all of our families like helping people and like all this good stuff happening. And I thought if everyone in this rehab came and like held hands and prayed, then I could stay. And then I thought about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, no, like I just couldn't do it. Or I thought I couldn't do it, you know? And I was like, I gotta go. And I didn't even know where I was. I didn't have a cell phone. I was like really far from anyone I knew. And I just was like, I'm leaving. And I just hitchhiked out of there. And I just was like, had my 2 suitcases and hitchhiked, and then ended up just freezing cold sitting outside and like with no one around, no cell phone, freezing cold. And I was just like, why did I walk out of that rehab? Like, I'm still sick. I'm just sitting outside. And then, I don't know, that was like the lowest part of my entire life. And I even thought like I should go jump from that building. Like I was so cold, so miserable, so disappointed in myself. I just disappointed everyone. And Jacob like came and got me, and I was so glad. And I slept at his house, and I was so thankful because I was just warm. But when I woke up, I was still really sick, and it just continued on that way for a while, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we so Amber had called me because it was you know, we really feel like God opened up these doors really quickly. The fact that we got you to rehab so quickly and got you in there, and we never knew if, you know, at that time you might say yes, and then 10 seconds later you'd be like, no, there's no way I'm going, and you'd be back to, okay, I'll go.
I wanted to go, but
it's just a battle.
Yeah. When you're like using an opiate, like it really does feel like you need it, like you need air. That's what it does in your brain. The way that it hits those receptors, like you literally feel like you need it, like you need air. And anyone who's watching that has been addicted to opiates would know that it's really hard to get past it. And then it's also not hard once you figure out how. Like when I finally begged God to begged him, like I have to stop using, like please. And then I just like got delivered at once, and but I had like, before that it wasn't easy at all. Like it felt like I needed it, like I need to breathe. So it's hard to explain. And like, I obviously feel really bad about all that happened. And I still like, even just yesterday I texted Jacob, and I was like, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done to me and for me. And I always tell him that because I feel so bad that he paid like $1,500 for me to go through detox for a week and just all that stuff. And it didn't last. And I do feel really bad about that. But he says, like, at least you're clean now, and at least you're doing good now. So
yeah. Me and which I seen Jacob not too long ago, and you get brought up every time, and me and Jacob both are extremely proud of you. You know, I mean, I know that you made us want to beat our head up against the wall for a little while, but you know, God had a plan for you the whole time. And we knew it. I mean, we, you know, even though you frustrated us and we never give up hope that God was going to take care of you.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful God did. Cause I mean, I could really honestly be dead so many times, and I could be in prison. I probably wouldn't have any teeth by now at all. For sure. I wouldn't have any teeth. Like my life would just be so different. And I'm really, really glad that it's not. Like, this is the happiest I've ever been, like, by far. Like, I'm actually proud of myself. Like, when I go to bed at night and I know that I was a good mom all day, and I did everything I could all day, and I trusted God to keep me clean another day. Like, that's the best feeling in the world. Like, better than any high, for sure.
Yeah. So you run away from rehab.
Yeah.
And did you already know you were pregnant at that time? Or were you pregnant then, or was it a little bit after that you got pregnant with Nate?
Mean? Oh, no, that was a lot after.
It was a lot after?
Yeah.
Okay, when
I ran away from rehab, no. That was like a lot after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like a year later probably.
Okay, so you spiraled, you kept spiraling out of control after that moment.
Oh, yes.
Right? So and before that, you know, we talked about Allison having a child, but also you had a child as well, a little girl.
Yep.
And Lily. So, and at that time, Aaron and Lily were both staying with Jim and Denise at their house. And like you said before, they wouldn't even let you.
Well, I mean, I lived, Lily and me and my baby's dad, Will, and Allison and Aaron, we all had an apartment together and lived together for a while.
Okay.
And then, like, I don't really want to get into all this
Sure.
kind of stuff, but yeah. Then, yeah, the best place and the safest place was to stay with my parents. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, I wasn't allowed there like the week before Allison passed away because me and her got in a fight.
Okay.
And we got like in a fist fight basically. And they were like, yeah, get out. And like, I was like, okay. And they didn't want me to come back. So they let me meet them at like the mall to play with Lily and stuff like that. But they didn't want me in the house at that moment. And yeah, I understand why.
But and a little bit before that, your mom's mom had passed away, and she had left you and the girls some money.
Me and Allison, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what y'all are using, and like got your apartment and all that kind of stuff.
And in California, they give you like money for having a kid. You know, they give you $500 a month cash and food stamps, and they like really help single moms. So we had money to spend on like mortgage and stuff or not mortgage, rent. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So I guess I didn't realize that you and Allison had got a place together. Mm-hmm. So what was that time like? Do you remember much of that?
Oh yeah. Well, so another big part of my story is the person that I loved more than anyone was, and this is really what brought on all my using, was I fell in love with the man, and I still love him very much. Like he's passed away now, but that's Lily's father, Will.
And he passed away from overdose.
Yeah. But he was like not a bad person. He had been trouble. I mean, he had been shot in the lung by just not like because he's a gangster. Like in high school, his friend tried to fight someone and they got scared and they shot his friend. And then he got shot in the lung. He had a collapsed lung. He had been like tortured as a kid. He had a really hard life. So I felt really bad for him. And I mean, yes, he had a lot of problems and he did bring me down a bad path. Like, cause I had not done any drugs really like that. I drank and like, you know, maybe some little things, but not any like serious using. So anyways, and then after he got shot, they gave him a bunch of like oxys and stuff like that, and he got addicted. Basically, anyways, so I fell in love with him when I met him, and he went to prison, and I was working as a CNA, but he was in prison for like 4 years, and I wrote him for 4 years, and I was just like in love with him. I was so in love with him, and when he got out, like he's not a saint, obviously, he wasn't a saint, but I still care about him. And when he got out, me and him got like a little place. He was working like at a farm, like milking cows or whatever. And I wanted to, like Lily, I didn't just accidentally have her. Like I wanted us to have a baby. Like I was so in love with him, which was, honestly, I was kind of immature. Like I didn't realize what it was about. I didn't really realize how like serious you have to take that. And I don't know. The whole thing is honestly very upsetting, obviously. So it's kind of confusing story probably for people listening. But yeah, so that was a big part of my story, was him, living with him. And then, of course, we had arguments and fights because we were very passionate, and that caused a bunch of drama and problems too. So that relationship made me sick just as much as using made me sick, and everything else made me sick. So when we lived together, it was a lot of like arguing and stuff like that, honestly, you know, between me and him, and her staying in her room, and yeah.
Yeah. So did Allison have somebody else? She
Yeah.
did. She had somebody with her.
Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. So, and I don't know if I've ever shared this, because, you know, one thing that we kind of going around, the fact that I'm raising your daughter and Allison's.
Yeah. But it's not, it kind of worked out that way, but it's not like, obviously that's not what I wanted.
Sure.
But that's what's best for now. I mean, not for now, that's how it is, but yeah. I still miss my daughter every day, and I'm really thankful that he stepped up when I was too sick to, you know, I signed over guardianship to my parents, and I was going off to rehab, And my parents gave them to him because they thought that was the best decision, which it is because the girls are doing great. But I just don't ever want her to think that I didn't want her, because I still love her and miss her every day, obviously.
Sure.
But I also really appreciate everything that you guys have done, because wasn't able to do that. I was too sick, obviously, and I just can't believe that I let that happen. Every single day I still am like, how did you let this happen? How do you not have your kid? Like, what? But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But hopefully she'll be proud of me when I've been clean now for 7 years. Like, I'm going to graduate in December. I bought a house. I've held a job. I am a totally different person.
Yeah.
And I'm a really good mom to Nate. And
Sure.
I will never let this happen again, to Nate. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, when I got the call about Allison, God instantly, and it's crazy because I had never thought about it. I didn't realize how much, how far y'all's addiction or drug problem was. I mean, I did, when I seen Allison a couple weeks before that, I knew she had some depression, stuff, but
You couldn't tell how bad she was.
no, I mean, we were eating lunch at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
It's really sad. It's really sad because, I mean, I do want to focus on God too, because I know that that's what this is all about. But yeah, I mean, without God, it's just like, I could go back and feel so bad about everything that I ever did. But it's like, it's like just as if I'd never done it, because God doesn't just say, oh, I only want someone that never sinned or never done anything wrong. And like, it's so the depths of how bad things get when you aren't living for God and when you're using, and it can get so ugly and so bad. Like, you have no clue how bad it truly gets, and like the guilt, and it's just so bad. But I don't honestly, like right now I feel bad because I'm kind of thinking about these things, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't feel the same. Like, I feel like I'm a new creation or new creature, whatever.
You are, yeah.
Because that's honestly not me at all anymore, at all.
Yeah.
And I wish Allison would have got a chance to do that too, but that's why I do want to help other people who are living like that and stuff.
Yeah. So you end up struggling with addiction for a while after we got you in that rehab, but then you did end up getting pregnant with Nate, and around that time, is that when you found the rehab that would take pregnant moms?
Yeah. Like after I left that one rehab, like so much, me and Will, like we were just together. We were like completely homeless. Like we were just didn't have cell phones, like survival mode, like so bad. Like it was really, really bad. It was really crazy. But he actually went back to prison again. And I was alone then, like completely alone. My parents had moved to Arkansas to be next to the girls, so I had literally no one, which I'm glad they did that, because it drove me down to the bottom real quick. Like I had absolutely no one. And so anyways, I did get pregnant with Nate, obviously, which honestly, of course, it's kind of like, especially around in Arkansas, it's like, oh, you weren't married and you got pregnant, and that's so bad. And it is kind of embarrassing, I guess, but not really, because I'm so glad that happened, because I wanted to change my life so bad, but every single day I would put it off till the next day. I'd be like, as soon as I get a little bit of money, and then I get to feeling better, and then I get somewhere to stay for the night, and then I use a phone, and then until the next day I'm going to call my parents, and it just went on like that for like a long time, And then once I knew I was pregnant, I was like, if there's something in me, because I felt so dead inside, I was like, if something in me's alive, that means God thinks I'm alive. I couldn't even believe I was pregnant, because I hadn't had a period in 2 years because I was so sick and so skinny. And I just was like, wow, I guess I couldn't even believe there could be something living in me. I could not believe that. And I was like, yeah, I'm not losing another kid. Like, I will love this kid just like I love Lily, and there's no way I'm going to be with this kid and I'm not losing it. And I was just like, I came to Arkansas, but it didn't make me not sick. Like I still was sick and still was craving drugs. Like it was really hard, but I didn't have a choice. Like I came to Arkansas. I took a Greyhound bus spent Christmas, like my last Christmas in LA on the bus station, pregnant, freezing cold. My arm kept dislocating. I was like, had no nutrients in my body. Like it was so bad. And then I finally got here and it was just, I was so afraid because I had my cell phone and I was already like gonna call someone and be like, ship me something. Like I was so sick. And then I just like in the middle of the night, I felt like God told me, go give your parents your phone. And I was like, here, take this phone that I had snuck. Like, take this, take that. Don't give it to me. And I was like, don't give it to me. And then my dad was like, God's very near to the brokenhearted right now. And he would always tell me like 8:38, right? 8:28, like Romans 8:28. He would always tell me that verse, like, this is all going to work out for good. Everything's going to work out for good. And I just went into the room and he was like, just keep on praying until you feel a breakthrough. Like, don't stop praying. And when you're brokenhearted, God's going to be there with you. And so like I went in their back room and I just laid there and prayed and prayed and prayed. And I was like, please take this like overwhelming desire out of me. Like, please deliver me from this. Like, cause I was like possessed. I was possessed. Like it felt like a possession. Like it felt like I was possessed. Yeah. And I just felt just like I slept so much better that night. And I just felt like a peace. Like I just felt like I could go like without it. And then I went to 90 meetings in 90 days. And I just started listening to like T.D. Jakes. I started listening to like Tony Robbins. I started listening to all these people. And like, I know Tony Robbins isn't a preacher, but I started listening to different like things on YouTube. And it was like the biggest thing that I could tell someone that is thinking they can't quit something is the whole thing about casting down your wrong thoughts. That is so powerful because when you think that you want to use or you want to do something, you can be like, no, I'm not going to think that. And you don't have to think that. And I learned that, and that really helped me. And then, I went to a rehab that took pregnant people, and I stayed there and I delivered my son and went back to rehab. And
be able to even get into that was a miracle in itself, right? I mean, and two, some of the stories, and we don't have to share them, but some of the stories you told me before that, like when Jim and Nisa moved down here, and just some of the things that you had to endure, the things that that happened to you, and I mean, it was obvious God had protection over you when you had no idea He was even there. I mean, some of the stories that you've told me, like you're very fortunate to even be alive, and to get that opportunity. So, to me, it just shows that God was watching out for you before you even truly knew who God was.
Yeah, and I could sense that even people would be like, come with me to the casino, you're so lucky, or like, because I obviously had protection around me, like just things that really should have happened bad to me, like they worked out to where I was still safe, I was still okay a lot of times. And so I do know God was looking out for me for sure.
So you get to the rehab, and what kind of rehab was that? Like, so was it a Christian-based rehab?
Yeah, it was. This one was different because, like, I had gone to, like, $60,000 rehabs, really expensive rehabs. And this one was one that was just, like, super, super cheap. But it was different. It wasn't about, like, the stuff they have there or whatever. It was, like, I really wanted this. I really had God's help doing it. And I just didn't matter how cheap everything was. Like, this time it was going to work. And I knew it was really working. Like I was changing so much, like every day. So
yeah. And you said, which I use the same path to get past my addiction and stay committed to God. The Bible said that you mentioned that to take every thought under subjection of Jesus Christ. It's basically you take that thought captive and you give it to the Lord and say, God, if this is not a healthy thought, if this is not something that's going to bring me closer to you, take that thought and cast it away from me.
Yeah.
And only put those thoughts.
I thought everything that came into my head was something I had to think. And I'm mad that he might be cheating on me. Oh, I have to think that, I have to go investigate, and I have to do this and I have to do that, or I think this or I think that, and I would just go with any thought I had. And now it's like, no. Even now, my relationship with my mom, like, we used to not even be able to be near each other without fighting, and now I adore my mom. Like, I prayed, please, like, let me see her as someone that I want to, like, take care of and love, like when I first came here. And now we don't fight at all, and I totally changed my whole attitude towards her, you know, so.
Yeah. And your mom is a very, like, she's very
She's
blunt.
got a story.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. And she, you know, she's very honest. She doesn't try to deny it. She owns up to her struggles and stuff. And yeah,
she's doing so much better too. Like, she's been weightlifting with me, going to the gym,
awesome.
which is crazy because she would never have done that. She's really trying stuff. So
yeah. So you get through the rehab, and you start going to a church that's like for addicts. It has a lot of people.
Courage to change. Yeah.
So it's a church for kind of focused around addicts, right?
Yeah, and I would go. Now I don't have as much time as I did at first, but I was there every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Saturday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was there almost every single day. And I got baptized, and I just go like on Sundays, and when I can, like, go to a meeting. But at first, I think it's so important that you are there as anytime you can, because you put so much dedication into your addiction. Like, you want to put that much into having your relationship with God and getting clean. And it's like good to go after a goal, because I started to be like, you know what, I'm going to work out. Like, it gets exciting. Like, it's exciting. Like, you're going to fix yourself up. And like, I decided I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to get a career helping people, and was on the dean's list every semester and doing really good and going to church and helping people. And it just feels so good. It feels so much better than like getting high. It feels great.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we get to talk about the amazing things of your life, you know, which, like I said, I'm extremely proud of you. And I try to tell you that every time that we go to eat, and just tell you how much I love you. And I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible and you've put in the work, but you know, you since given your life to the Lord, you got baptized. You've been a wonderful mother to Nate. You know, you've called me about spanking his little butt, because you know, you're just going to be a good mom. You discipline him, you know, and you know, you sent me that picture of him getting his little, I guess he had gotten in trouble for not listening, and you spanked his butt, and it's like, no, you're going to be a good boy, and then he ended up getting a certificate for being a good student.
and then like all summer, I worked with him so much. Like, I made him do chores, I made him like practice and stuff. And then this teacher, I was so happy because like I got a message, and I was like, oh gosh, what's this message? I hope it's not something bad. And she was like, I just wanted to tell you that Nate's so honest, and he's such a joy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so happy, because seeing improvement, it feels good. Like, doing the right thing feels good. Being like a good mom, it feels good, you know.
Yeah.
So
you're going to school.
I'm still a work in progress, but yeah.
You're going to school.
Yes.
I got to graduate. I got to come to. So the first thing I went to was what was that? It was like a graduation.
White coat ceremony. It's like saying we're allowed to go to clinical and like do certain things. Like the
acceptance or something.
Yeah.
And then I went to another like award.
Yeah, that was like the honors society. So
okay, yeah. So you get your award. So obviously you're really taking it serious. You know, and
so serious.
You got a great job. As far as going into, you know, God gave you a great job working at Doe's, and still being in school.
Yes.
So, and you got your own little place, got you a nice house that you fixed up.
Yeah. Now I just got to find a good husband.
Yeah, which, you know, I'm always telling you, don't sell out to any losers.
I'm waiting for God to bring me the right person.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're patient, I believe you will.
Yeah, and that's what you said too, was that you were impressed because when I first moved here, you thought, oh, maybe she's gonna end up with some like guy real quick or from Arkansas or something. But I'm not. I've been single almost this whole time. I mean, I have met people, but no one that I was like real serious about. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
and a couple that I've had to be like, why you been?
Well, I mean, I met someone in church and it didn't. I was like going to be engaged, but I could sense that it was wrong. And that was God also protecting me because I just knew it wasn't right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, like I've told you before, you got so many amazing things that God's doing in your life. And I believe that you focus on the Lord. My hope for you is that you find a man that's going to love you, protect you, honor you, be a good father figure to Nate. And but those right now, I feel like God's working on you, and you're getting through your education and
because at first I wouldn't have been a good wife anyway. So and I'm going to graduate in December, so I don't really have time for that. You know what I mean? So it's good.
Yeah. So once you, how much longer do you have in school?
December I'll graduate.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, you go from.
I'm gonna work, but I'm gonna keep going to get like my nurse practitioner.
Yeah, so you're going to get an RN. You say RNS or something like that.
Yes, it's like a bachelor's, but you'll be an RN. Yeah. So it's like.
Which is legit. I mean, that's crazy.
And I'll be able to help people. Like I want to work in mental health or oncology, something where people are going through a lot and help people.
Yeah, and I think you will, Elaina. Even doing this, I think it's a gift to be able to wear your scars out openly. Yeah. Because what
I'm so afraid of. I'm not afraid, but I mean, I canceled twice, and it wasn't. I legit didn't want to drive in the rain or whatever.
Yeah, talking about canceling. Yeah, coming here. Yeah,
because I was just kind of like I am kind of ashamed of some of this, but I mean, everyone else also I'm sure has issues too.
Yeah,
and God, He like walked with prostitutes and people like that, and it's like He wants to save people with issues.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of that story, Hosea, in the Bible. You know what I'm talking about? Where he was, like, the husband, and he was a really good husband.
God had him marry a prostitute.
Yeah, and she took off, and...
He kept going back and getting her.
She took off and left him and the kids and all this stuff, and then, like, she was really bad and ended up, like, being sold, and Hosea came back and was like, I'll pay for her, she's worth it. And even though she did all that... God still, like, that's like a metaphor. Like, God still was like, no, she's still worth it to me. Yeah. And that story is really powerful. It reminds me of me because I did so many things that people would be like, why? Like, that's so bad. No, that's not a good person. And when I was younger, I would also have thought that too. I used to judge people like me so much. But it's like, you never know where you could end up without God. It's not like, no, I didn't have it all together, but with God, my life is so much better now. So, and anyone else out there that's done something they're ashamed of or whatever, like, they can also be saved too, and they don't have to be ashamed either. Like, so yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think just saying that I'm proud of you does it enough.
I'm proud of you too, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. That's the sad thing about, people are still, and it's another thing is that shame, you don't have to carry that around because, we're literally talking about a different person, right? When we're talking about the old Elaina, that's not who you are. I mean, that's somebody that's dead, somebody that God makes the old new. He's giving you a new heart and a new mind. You said it's the way you think of things, like the way you look at things.
Right? That's Absolutely. My friend gave me a notebook that's like, I'm a new creature.
In Christ.
And I was like, I like that. Because I'm a totally different person. I react totally different. I act totally different. I think totally different. Like, it's just, He's totally changed my life. Yeah. So,
Yeah, so that's not, so the reason I think me and you both can be bold about our struggles and the shameful things that we've done, things that we've done that hurt people and that, is that shame was buried with the old person that we used to be. So now that is a victory.
It shows people that you can get your act together. Because people are like, you used to use, I can't even tell. But like, to me.
Isn't that a great compliment?
Yeah.
Like when people... and I'm sure that there's probably people that now that's going to see this and they're going to go, I would have never guessed. And that's such a testament to how you've allowed God to change your life, because there's people now that see you and go, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
Because you're so far from what that old person used to be. That's just not who you are. It's like talking about somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And at first, I kind of would feel like I don't belong, I don't belong here. I don't belong in nursing school because I'm not as good as these people. But now I feel just as good as everyone else. So, This doesn't make me worse. It just makes me that I've changed. God's helped me, and I'm stronger now because of it.
Yeah. God, just Sunday, church was almost, or pretty much was over. And it was kind of one of them services to where it really didn't get past to just some testimonies, some praise, some worship, and, really wasn't preaching. And church was over, but it really wasn't over. It's like just still singing and stuff, and people just kind of standing around. Well, I have the same necklace. I wore this necklace yesterday. But when me and Jennifer were at the mall last week, we seen a necklace look identical to this at a case, and it was $12,000. Well, I paid like $150 or $200, but you could. I mean, if you put them in the case next to each other, you literally wouldn't be able to tell which one was $12,000, which one was $200. Mm-hmm. But when I don't know why God brought that to attention. I stand there but God told me that the difference though between that $12,000 necklace and this $200 necklace is this $200 necklace is being worn. That $12,000 necklace is still in the cage. Mm-hmm. It's not being used. As right now, other than the price tag, it has no value because nobody's using it. It's not doing any good for anybody. Yeah. And what God spoke to me is that, sometimes we can, like you said, like I'm not good enough. Especially when, like God called me to teach a marriage class. I was never faithful to, including my wife. I cheated on my wife the day before we got married. Which she's going to be upset that I mentioned that. She didn't like me bringing that up, but it's just a fact. But I was just a terrible person. I wasn't faithful, really selfish. But God called me to teach a marriage class, which now it's like almost 12 years I've been teaching this marriage. And I'm not saying I'm a marriage counselor. We just talk about
but you're
issues.
Obviously have a good marriage. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't feel like I brought a lot of value to life because of the choices I made, the person that I was, how that my mom was. My mom was an addict majority of my life, and the same thing that took our dad took my mom. And she died. She died an addict.
Did she die of alcoholism?
Alcohol and drugs, yeah, but it destroyed her liver, just like Dad. Almost identical to how Dad passed, just with the swelling up and turning yellow and bleeding. But anyway, so you could take all that and go, before God puts us out there, there's a lot of people who pass by my life and your life and go, that shouldn't be in the same proximity of this $12,000 necklace. Like we should, there's a lot of people say they have no value. They're not worth anything. Give up on them. But God never gives. And, like what God, when I started thinking about the necklace, God said, I've got you around my neck. Like I felt like God was saying, you're something I proudly display. It's like me and you both, because we love, God has us in the deep chambers of his heart. Like he loves us. Yeah. And he's not concerned about the terrible mistakes we made, how our childhood was, that we come from a family that was plagued with addiction and struggle. He doesn't care about all that. Or he does care about it, but it doesn't hinder. Yes, God has opened up for me and you both doors that never should have been opened for us. And he shut doors in our life that we could never shut. Yeah. And just the thought that, God adores us. The value in our life is because it's not because of what we've done or who we are. It's because God proudly displays us around his neck. God proudly displays us on his hand and in his heart. Like God thinks of us so valuable that he died for us. Yeah. And it's just, I think, to me, I love talking about the redemption of Jesus Christ. Even like you talked about, the fact that he changes our mind, the way that we look and perceive ourselves. I don't boastfully and with pride go and be like, life is just going to be good for me, or I'm going to be a good father, a good husband, but I just know that God has a ladder of success for me and you both, for everybody that serves him, because he gives us a promise that he knew us before we were ever born, right? He had a plan for us before we were ever born. And so the ladder of success of what he has planned for you, as long as you follow him, there's nothing that can throw you off of that path but you. You can make a decision and be like, God, I'm done. I'm not going to serve you anymore. But if you choose to serve God, no matter how sloppy it looks, just always facing towards Christ and letting Christ, that pinnacle of the purpose that God had for you before you're ever born, despite your mistakes, despite your struggles, my mistakes, my struggles, God is going to get us to that peak of the exact plan that he has for us. And when we realize that, there's no threat. There's no threat of what people might find out or the things that we've done, or being jealous of somebody that had a little bit better childhood, and they had a mom and dad that were together through their whole, all that kind of stuff. It really doesn't matter because you were never a mistake. Mm-hmm. I was never a mistake. God knew who our mom and dad would be before we were ever born. Yeah. He knew the struggles that we would face, but he had a plan not only for us in the end, but also through that to try to pull us out and for us to surrender his life. And you're a perfect example of what happens when you find yourself in the deepest of deeps with no hope, no plan. You had no plan, right?
Yeah, no.
And God just scoops you up before you truly even committed to him. Mm-hmm. God already started scooping you up, cleaning you up.
So many people were praying for me, and yeah, my stepdad, he really prayed with me, and the first thing that he did, not to go on another story, that really made me believe in God was like, he walked up to me and he was just like, I was freaking out, and he was like, I pray that peace that passes all understanding just comes on you now. And then I just felt so much peace, like when I first got there, and I was like, what the heck? Like, that's so weird. Like, I almost felt like someone gave me a Valium or something. Like, I was fine. I could lay down. And I was like, there's something to this, like, praying. It actually works. Like, I couldn't believe that it would even work. I didn't even ever think, like, oh, pray to stop using. Like, what? That's not going to work. But, yeah, prayer does work when you really are serious about it. And you, like, I feel like when your heart is so, like, you are not going to stop praying for this until you get the relief from your addiction that you want. You want it really bad, then it works.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Elaina, it's such a breath of fresh air. Like when we get to go have dinner or something, with just hanging out, just me and you, just your eagerness to talk about the Lord, and just your love for God and the desire to be a good mom and to honor the Lord. It's so encouraging. And it just lets me know, hey, Elaina's got it figured out. She knows that God's got her, that you've got your focus and priorities in a great shape to where you're putting God number one and letting God lead you and direct you. And I'm telling you, Sissy, I'm so proud of you. I'm just honored to be your brother. And thank you for just being willing to hang out with me. Get a little emotional, which you're worried about, right. But I think it was really good, and I know that your story is going to impact and change lives, and I'm going to be praying and believing that you get to see it, that you truly get to see the impact of you surrendering to Christ, that it bringing other people out of that dark pit, that the lies of Satan, Satan trying to destroy young girls' lives, and them finding encouragement from you.
Yeah, I see a vision of that, helping a lot of people. And I've seen that since the beginning, like, maybe with your help and guidance, I want to help a lot of other women who've they just feel dirty and they don't have to. So that's what I want.
That's a good word. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me and getting to sit down with my little sister. Like she said, I think that we can end with that. So there might be some watching that feel dirty, that maybe are carrying around the weight of what life has looked like, and maybe it's felt you feeling dirty, feeling ashamed, feeling unworthy. But there is a man named Jesus Christ that wants to dust you off and clean you up and show you how much he loves you, how valuable you are, and the beauty, the true beauty, the way God sees you. So if you found that place, I just ask you to give Jesus Christ a chance, to let him put value and worth into your life and quit listening to your circumstances and the situations and the lies that maybe you've been told. Hey guys, thanks for watching. On our next episode, we're going to be interviewing Susan Watson. I was actually at church the day that God completely changed her life. She actually shot up dope out in the parking lot and came to church with no hope, surrendered her life to Christ. And from that moment, God has done nothing but work miracles in her life. I know that you'll be blessed and encouraged. And maybe if you've been holding on to an excuse, I think that her story might encourage you to lay down that excuse. See you in the next one.